Okay, that should just about do it. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, Lord King Pulsar, Don Jacket, Jolts. It is a pleasure to see you again, and of course, Wardy, ever present. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? We have once again decided to grace your screens. It's been a couple of days, and I've missed you. I've missed you wholeheartedly. We did have a little grip session on Tuesday. Don Jacket, aka Ricardo, those of you that tuned in last week and caught our little Those Who Remain walkthrough with wonderful Ricardo, may be able to put a face to that name and the most infectious smile, I think, that has ever graced anyone's screen. Once again, we do have, in fact, another little treat for you all. We're going to be doing another dev walkthrough, this time with the fantastic, charismatic, handsome, and, you know, I've got to just say, you know, they're beautiful too, the Demon Brothers from Kayakin Interactive, who are the developers of Deliver Us the Moon, one of a bit of a fan favorite in the Wired Productions wheelhouse, and we're actually taking a look at the Ps4 console version today. It's not been... I think people got hands-on with it at PAX. If you were lucky enough to come out to PAX this year and get hands-on, you were able to kind of see the console version live and in the flesh. But as we are waiting to get that released for everybody, we figured that we'd get a little early look at it. It's still a very in-development build, so you may come across a couple of wonky bits, but no, it is very much not representative, but we wanted to give you guys a treat and let you see the game running, existing, and bring the devs on, of course, to get their take on everything. Now, the Demon Brothers are a little bit elusive. They're pretty hard to nail down. If they're not in the studio, they're usually up in space. They're obsessed with it. They love it. It's kind of their bag. So if you give me one moment, I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of them. I'm gonna try my darn hardest. Wonderful Latino Heat and Heaven Smile 94. Welcome back. How are you doing? Pleasure to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Bear with me one moment. I believe we should be able to have the Demon Brothers with us now. Let me just double check, boys. Can you report in to me, please? Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. Perfect. I think.
Do we have transmission going on?
We have transmission.
Like from mission control here.
We have got. Ooh. Hello.
Do you copy us, Gary?
I do. I read you loud and clear. Just give me one moment. I need to be sure that the people can hear you. Can we get a check 1, check 2, mic check?
Mic check 1, 2. Do you copy mission control 1, 2? Gary, do you hear us?
I hear you, but can the people hear you? It's all good?
Can the people receive us?
Good volume 2. That's what we're all about. That is what it is all about, right? Let me just get to the main menu so that we're not being talked over by the introduction, and then we'll take it from there. So, as mentioned, we do have the absolutely phenomenal Demon Brothers here with us today. Gentlemen, how are we?
We're good, I think, right? We are pretty good. Like the red light is showing some post-apocalyptic signs here, but yeah, still doing okay.
Maybe even more important is that on Earth you will have these regulations of not sitting together. But yeah, we are in space. We're astronauts, so they're not coming like
different rules.
Different rules. Things are very different up there. We must look so very small down here.
Yeah. It is a beautiful sight, I have to see.
Is coronavirus in space yet? I would, honestly, that's not a film that I would want to see. Coronavirus in space sounds like the worst B movie. Somebody is going to make it. Somebody is going to make it. In 20 years from now, when we're kind of looking back at this period, that is something that is probably going to end up in there. Already isolated. Alright, so before we dive in, do you guys want to just introduce yourselves? I know a handful of people... B-movie, not B-movie. Exactly. Zobi! How we doing, Zobi? Can we get a big old wave?
Hey, Zobi.
Wired Productions, fan favorite, Zobi, over in the corner. Wonderful to see you. A few people may have had the pleasure of bumping into the charismatic Paul over in PAX or interacting with him on the internet, but you might not have. So you two, please take it away. Let us know, who are you? Who is your daddy? What does he do? All of those kind of questions.
Our daddy. A lot of stories about my daddy, but let's keep it to us at this point. Paul Diepman, Kaioken Interactive, doing managing direction of the studio, and together with my brother, Koen.
Yes, so Paul Diepman's, I always liked internationally call it Conrad Diepman or Cohen Diepman. So let's keep it at Cohen Diepman. CEO of Kaioken Interactive. Doing most of the game direction here in the studio.
Awesome. Two very important people, but with an equally talented and fantastic team behind them. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. These boys sound hella Dutch. Boys, can you confirm? Are you hella Dutch?
We definitely are.
Yeah. I wanted to make a joke out of this, like, what do you mean? But
what do you mean?
We're straight, like, streaming here from space. Sorry, no,
space,
we are from Amsterdam.
We're floating above the Netherlands here.
Yeah, exactly. Just eyes down, keeping an overwatch on everything from above, making sure that you're bringing our feed directly to the people. You love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So I'm just going to take a moment before we dive in this. You boys are big on the content creation side yourselves. It's something that I'm very, very happy about because we get to do fun things like this, and you're like a fish. Just in your native element, you just immerse in it. Is fantastic. Can we just have you kind of prop up and stand up a little bit and give the fine folks a view of these fantastic Kaioken WSA spacesuits that you have created? And just turn the gravity off for a second. Just turn the gravity off for a second. Have a little float. Have a little float around.
It is a little floaty here.
Yeah, it is a little floaty. Look at you. Oh my god. Okay. Get the seatbelt back on. Get the seatbelt back on. And if we lose you before the stream starts, then we are both going to be in a world of trouble. It might not be this world. You might end up somewhere else. But we will be in a world of trouble. All right, so, as mentioned, Deliver Us the Moon is, honestly, it is we're going to get a little bit propagandary here, I know. It's a pretty fantastic title. It's been out on Steam for a little whiles now. And in the very short upcoming period, we're going to be looking at the console release, which is what we are looking at today. Something that people have been looking at for quite some time. There was an awful lot of happy reactions to the announcement of dates and so on and so forth. We're going to be looking at the Ps4 version, just for full-on disclaimer, because, these things are important. We are going to be running on a Ps4 Pro. It is an early build, so as mentioned, there may be the occasional rough edge, but this is early, and we just wanted to share it with you. Warts and all, it's good to give people a display that it exists. So if you give me one moment, because as we are on the Pro, that does mean that we can put it on a nice 4K mode, which is... I mean, it looks fantastic anyway, but it just kind of makes it look that little bit better, because if you've got the horsepower, then use it, as my dad used to say before he got kicked out of the stables. Okay. So, 4K, yeah, you know it, Zobi, you know it. So, as we mentioned, we're going to be going through the early stages of the game. These two fine folks have no end of awesome stories that they're going to be pointing out as we go through, but we are also totally receptive to any and all questions from the chat for either myself or my fine spacefaring Dutch friends up there. So if you have anything you want to ask them, anything you want to know, anything that's been bugging you, doesn't even have to be about the game. Maybe you've just got some really hard
advice.
Yeah, maybe you've just got some really hard maths homework. Maybe you've got your recipe and you've tried it 3 or 4 times and it's not turned out the way that grandma made it, and maybe you just want a little bit of advice. Throw them out there. We will be more than happy to accommodate. Okay? So that's for you. Yes. That's for you. Get your question hats on as we go. So, before we dive into the game, obviously there is an intro video. There is somewhat of a pre-roll to explain, but as you two are here with me right now, explain Deliver Us the Moon as it begins. Give the game its setup, let the people know what we're walking into.
You wanna do
sure.
It?
So, it is set up in the near future for everybody that doesn't know Deliver Us the Moon. So, there was this energy source coming from the and it was sending to Earth, but it got cut off at one point. And you as an astronaut is going to find out why that it got cut off, why the connection got lost, So you're gonna take matters into your own hands and send yourself up to the moon, and that's where it starts. It starts off right on Earth, where you're gonna launch yourself into the moon. The whole heart of it is gonna be being an astronaut. So everything that you can imagine when you're a kid, when you wanted to be an astronaut, will be in Deliver Us the Moon, and then woven into this narrative story. So gameplay wise, you can think of like a lot of puzzling, a lot of like gameplay elements in platforming a little bit, but that also combined with this kind of emotional narrative story.
Yeah, I'd like to always see it as like your traverse history throughout the game. So there's a lot of mystery happened on the moon, like why is this whole signal off, and why are you the only astronaut that's able to rescue there, or actually find out what happened there.
Yeah.
So
a lot of mystery and a lot of unraveling along the way you play the game.
Yeah,
definitely. And for me, I think, first of all, not to lean too hard on it, but like the world state of the game when you open up, it is not in a good way.
No.
Humanity has not looked after, but as it's affectionately known, our little blue marble. We've not done great with it, and we are at that point relying on energy sources from extra solar beings, right? Like we're kind of taking resources from elsewhere. And even that, at this point, has 100% failed us for whatever reason, reasons unknown.
Maybe even the first thing when we were making this game, this is the first thing that came to mind. Like, I think I was seeing a documentary, reading something about that. If we would continue to use our Earth like we do today, then in 50 years you would actually drain everything, and you have nothing left. So I was literally imagining, what if that actually happened? What would we do?
Right.
So, of course, with all the tech now and our progress, we would maybe look for our nearest celestial body, and that is the moon now.
Got you. So very much at the background of everything, this kind of cautionary kind of feel behind it, And honestly, I think it's kind of one of my favorite things about the game itself is that it is equal parts, space adventure mystery, but also like a little bit of like 90s disaster movie feel about it. You know there was that period in the 90s where all of these like back-to-back films came out. They all had a natural disaster or some kind of, and it was insurmountable odds. It was completely going against nature and the elements in order to achieve a goal, and anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and that was the fun. Like that was the fun of it. For me personally, that's one of my favorite things about the game is just that complete feel of that. Really, it's pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic. So that's our setup. We're going to load up the game now. During the intro, I'm going to be relatively quiet just to let the game do its thing. But these two are very much in the driving seat, even though I do have the controller. So if they see me moving past anything and they want to talk, they are going to talk, and we are going to stop and listen. We are their captive audience today from up in space. So we'll take it from there.
Let's get into it.
Before we begin, hello there, Miss K. Pleasure to see you.
K.
Just imagining Meg fluttering her eyes like a spike.
Oh, I'm excited.
There we go. Does it? Will we get the intro?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm fairly sure we do. We did test this earlier. We are a professional outfit, even if our guests are in space. You have no idea how many satellites it took to... Oop, here we go.
Yeah.
Friends and family of the missing lunar colonists gather all around the world in remembrance of the 2015 and blackout that resulted in a global power outage and the loss of contact with the lunar colony. The blackout caused global turmoil, which ultimately led to the closure of the world station 1 year later. In other news, the recent formation of the largest dust storm on record has caused the climatologists to readjust their forecast of the equatorial desert growth rate. As a result of the new storm, the desert could soon cover 30% of the global area.
So,
Several governments have pledged support for refugees.
this is where the journey starts.
The desert
Yeah.
Quite a super cold opening, right? Like you get dropped quite immediately into it. You get a small broadcast, kind of setting up the world and kind of saying, by the way, things aren't great. This is where we're at, and you find yourself in this little, let's be honest, a modest little tin shack with a little beat up radio, sat broadcasting, a few things to look at, and over in the corner here, a fantastic spacesuit. So I'm just going to walk around and look at a few of those elements and kind of investigate them. A large portion of the game is kind of spent in these first-person kind of walking around and investigating. Awful lot of kind of immersive world building, picking up, clues as to what is occurring through, broadcasts or items and kind of reading things. So I'm going to have a little walk around and then explore, and then you two feel free to shout out on anything that piques your interest.
So what we actually did is we went for a hybrid game, meaning it's a third-person, first-person game, and we kind of it's kind of fixed, so it's not interchangeable when you're doing it. Mostly done because of the zero gravity that you will experience eventually was better portrayed in first-person, so that's why we made that hybrid. And this level is really set up to get the player hooked on everything that we have. So for the things that you're inspecting, for example. But then also items that you can find, but then also tools like your Astro tool that you can find out and use along your journey.
And maybe interesting, you're looking at a blueprint, a pickup in the game you can inspect. And maybe the first interesting part about this one is that while we were designing this game, it was very important for us to also stick to a certain... Because we take like the environment as like what if something like this happened, we had to stick to some kind of a reality and actuality and something that was correct. So the launch sequence you're actually looking at right now is something they actually use.
So just for clarification, this right here, this kind of dashboard in front of us is basically like the command console in this particular vehicle, and every one of these numbered buttons is basically, hey, here's the order that you need to do it in. Here's the procedure you need to be to get this thing, functioning. Awesome.
I have to say, if you would launch a rocket for real, then there is a huge team and there's a lot of people and a multitude of other things.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. So, however, the actual T-9 is something has everything to do with what you're looking at right now. So, while we were showcasing the game around the world, you could also see that, for example, sometimes NASA astronauts walked up to us or ESA astronauts and they said like, hey, that is an actual T-9. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, we did our research. We did our research. Like,
to a certain extent, of course.
Of course. Like, there's always that balance, right, between kind of believability and also like functionality. Let's call it.
Yeah, you want to make a fun game.
You want to make a fun game too. Although walking away from a video game with a physics degree would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
just putting it out there. NASA, hit a boy up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't send me to space. I'm terrified of heights. Okay, so
wouldn't you go, Gary? If you had the idea of going to space, if you had the chance, would you go?
I think I would, but like, I think I would be terrified the entire time. But
really?
Are we talking like straight up going up to space and staying there, or just going up and having a bit of a dabble and coming back down? Because I think there's a difference, right? I think I could go up and come back down for like as a treat, but like I couldn't go up there and stay up there. Like I miss Earth too much, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Of course, if I would say yes, drop me on the moon, you will eventually get homesick. I know that, and there is something to astronauts that they get like this whole Earth view, and that kind of does something to them. They all turn back to Earth a different human. So
perspective, real zoomed out perspective.
Yeah, well, a lot of astronauts have actually said, when you look at a lot of their personal diaries and kind of interviews and whatever, where they kind of are like, hey, like you go up there and all of a sudden like nothing matters. Like you go up there, you look at it, and it just seeing it and actually getting context on it, you realize just how stupid a lot of things really are, and it kind of does change them in that way. It's kind of an interesting thing. And hello there, Exotic Collector. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? Welcome to our little home away from home. Apart from them two, they're home away from way up there, but they're doing their best. They're doing their best. So we've heard over the radio there because our handler is getting very, very irritated with us spending 45 minutes looking at the launch sequence, but it's cool. We're just making sure that we're getting it right. But we've got a little encouragement note on the back here from Claire, who is kind of like hey, you got this. Like you got this. If you're looking at this, you're obviously doubting yourself. So here's a little, you got us. And okay, Claire, we're going. Okay, we're doing it. Okay, Claire, fine.
Yep.
We'll go.
So there are a lot of these little Easter eggs. So if there's like an inspectable, there's sometimes a little extra thing on the back, or even something in the corner. So we encourage people to explore the areas. You don't have to if you don't want to. We just strongly encourage it to deepen the story.
Yeah. And here, yet another example, the MPT, one of the, I would say, big highlights in the game, is the system. It's called microwave power transmission. This is literally being researched by the Japanese, how you transfer power wirelessly.
This is an actual thing. This is something that is at least theoretically being investigated in our current time.
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And
so
for the purposes of the game, what does the MPT serve as in the game? How does it actually? I mean, obviously we've got the headline up there. It's transmitting power from the moon to the Earth, but that's basically how humanity in this instance was able to survive after we'd used all our resources, right? It was basically a big old telephone phoning power straight home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In layman's terms.
That's good.
Well, there's getting it from the moon is like helium-3 has super rich source of energy. You can really power a lot of things with just a small fragment of helium-3. That's plenty on the moon. So if you could mine that in a way and you could send that wirelessly back to the Earth, then then there is a supply.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you just drop an ET bomb? Everything I say is a reference to something, but maybe not everyone would be willing to admit it. And on this fact, this little cute drawing here, this is kind of it really simplifies it, right? Like
exactly.
Just in case the words were a bit too much, you kind of flip it over and you get this big radio tower fires signal to microwave and gives power, which is
it's for players like me. So I am not the most kind guy to games where you have to read certain parts. So when you have stupid guys like me, you just need something like explain it a little easier.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, Claire's getting pretty impatient. I think we should probably suit up and get moving, because we do have a moon to deliver. So we've got this very fancy. I do love the pink button. Honestly, it's my favorite thing. It looks like so much fun to push. And here we have our little spacesuit, which is well, we're suiting up. We're getting ready.
Definitely. This was designed in a way where I literally called it like you have to feel like you're putting on your bat suit, like Batman.
You are a superhero. It's that kind of. It might not be as cool a superhero. You don't have a tragic backstory, but. But, it is equal parts important. And there is actually quite a few, as you would expect, quite a few variations on the suit over the course of development, wasn't there? I remember seeing quite a few different vids. Maybe we'll pull some of those up and start sharing them out over social things, just to kind of show people the evolution of the spacesuit, because it is quite interesting looking at those early ones as to what we ended up with.
There's been a lot of iteration on the suit, but then also we need to take the future into account. So the suits are actually pretty wide nowadays. But of course, if you're looking into the future. Maybe you have
maybe
a
it scales down a
Italian
little.
flick design,
Mm.
a little bit like an Italian sexy design. So that's
Ooh,
Wet.
a little bit of ooh la la in your astronaut. And of course, we are introduced to our Astro tool.
Yeah, and the Astro tool will help you along the way. So for the people that need some extra guidance, there's always a mission log that states where you need to go and what your next step is in the game. For me, I don't like that. I really like to explore myself, so I don't look too much at the mission log. But then also
Right.
the database is there to collect, for example, audio logs, but then also scannables to learn a little bit more
It
about
acts
your
as a little
environment.
bit of a codex for the game as well as an actual guide for you to
Yeah,
go along on. And of course,
And then
the Moonman comics,
Yes.
which are one of my favorite collectible types, honestly. In universe, comics and media has always fascinated me.
Yeah, the Moonman. The reason it's called Moonman is because when actually Paul, there's a moment where we pitched in ideas for the game we were gonna develop, and Paul's concept won, and the idea for it was like that there was a guy living on the moon, on the light in the dark side of the moon, and he pitched it literally like Moon Man. So this was kind of carried over into the project. So eventually the entire project from start to finish always was called Moon Man. So
homage to the kind of the
Yeah.
working project.
the working title.
So you kind of went straight up Samuel L. Jackson, like snakes on a plane, like just quite literal. I have had it with these mother effing men on this moon, kind of thing. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I had to restrain myself there. Remember, we are a family show. So yeah, and honestly, the game.
We don't mind though.
The game very much does look. I mean, a lot of attention has been put, especially on the PC side, where the game is already out. Nvidia kind of released the 20 series of cards that came with all of the big swanky RTX features, ray tracing, the DLSS, which Deliver Us the Moon is basically heralded as the standard for DLSS and so on and so forth. Like it's still very experimental. It's early days. Nvidia is still getting their head around it and kind of finding good ways to implement it. But even though this is not the PC version, even though this doesn't have a $1,000 video card inside kind of pumping out all that ray tracing, like the art team did a fantastic job that it still looks absolutely brilliant, like top to bottom. It is a beautiful looking game. Anyway,
Thank you.
enough praise. These guys get like 2 emails a day from me telling me about how handsome I think they are and how good the game is. They get this all the time. Let's get out of here.
To get this whole thing done, it's definitely a whole team effort. Working with a team of 12 people now, putting their heart and soul into this. So everything that you see and all the graphics, even the tech and the programming, is all a huge team effort from the team here in Amsterdam.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And the countless of people that have been working on for years before. Because when I was like listing up the credits eventually, I couldn't believe that we literally started this project from a kitchen table, guys. So there was nothing. We had zero money. We had zero anything. We were in our like house where we grew up. We were sitting at the kitchen table. Let's make games.
Yeah, we stole a whiteboard from our sister's room.
Oh,
and
no.
We said like,
what was she
let's,
using the whiteboard for?
I have no clue, but we actually stole
Nothing
it.
important.
We opened up their laptops and we said like, let's start a game company.
Oh,
Yeah.
got a trophy. Fantastic.
Here we go.
Get a trophy. Fantastic.
Oh, nice.
So, zero money, zero resources, 100% will.
That's definitely it. It's all about doing.
Yeah, exactly. And when we made up the credits list, I couldn't believe that we were almost over 60 plus people. But today, that's even more. With everyone working on it and have worked on it. So it's beautiful. That was for me super. A super strange feeling that if you look at a project now and you go years back, there's these periods of time, that are their own, and the game eventually is just one game, and everyone gamers play this. But there are so many stories to tell on what processes have been in the beginning, such as it has been a tech demo for almost 2 years, for example, before it was this. So
we've been showcasing it very, very, very early. When the tech demo was there and when we had something playable, almost prototypey, we already started showcasing and find the right partners to get this the shape that we dreamed of.
Yeah, so maybe good to notice here is that for us, getting it to a console version and eventually even seeing it in a box for us is like the full Monty, you know?
Everything's kind of coming full circle, closing the loop. You've gone from that beginning and now bringing it all the way back round to kind of close it. King Pulsar in the chat is asking, what are your backgrounds education-wise? Where did you guys find yourselves? Fresh out of college, baby-faced. Thank you for the host, Miss K. Fresh out of college, and or did you even do college? I'm making an assumption.
So I remember I started with Paul when we were 12. We were starting to do esports, and we were playing. It was around the 2000 period, you know, the year 2000. So. And we went into esports on the Counter-Strike and Soldier of Fortune 2.
Ooh, Soldier of Fortune, that is a...
Yeah. So what happened is that we had like a clan that literally has all our nicknames. So for example, the nickname Keoken is my nickname, and the clans we have there, we have like the companies are named by the clan. And it was because we had a goal into the esports time that let's say in the years we played esports, we wanted to become the #1 internationally on the international rankings, and that happened 4 years later. So from our 12th to our 18th, we went into this. We had this goal and eventually made it. So when we were making companies, we were thinking of, you know, names that would maybe bring us luck a second time. So. That's one. And because we've done the online gaming world for a long time, we kind of like shifted a little bit towards single player games, and we started to delve ourselves deeply into, think about the Mass Effects, the Bioshocks, and eventually I started to find the quickest way into the industry. So that was at the time I would say experimental study that is computer science, but they had kind of like you could graduate with a game development degree in some way. Paul,
it was actually the first start of the whole game development studies.
Yeah.
So that's where you started and you finished it. I actually dropped out of school in high school and eventually have my kind of...
You drop out.
Not for everybody though, I have to say.
No, of course.
But then eventually, with the rebellious attitudes, started to doing audio engineering, got my bachelor in that as well, so I got the diploma. But after that, we already had the companies pumping, so meaning that we just being an entrepreneur, kind of winging the whole thing. And I think if you really have a vision and you want in life, you can do it without anything, but it's not for everybody. So it's always a good story to say like, hey, drop out of school, do what you want, but you really have to need a clear vision to accomplish that.
A little bit of iron will, a little bit of preparation, and a little slice of luck on the side. Like it all kind of adds up in that kind of situation, right? It all kind of adds up. Wonderful Kiko is in the chat with a big old hello. Hello, Kiko. Pleasure to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. I like saying that. Hello, Kiko. I know it sounds like a really cool little jingle for something.
It could actually be a product or something. Hello, Kiko.
Hello, Kiko. I feel like I would buy that for a kid if I had a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, Dad, can I have the new Hello, Kiko? No, you've got one at
exactly.
home.
Or is the Mrs. Rinsler or Mr. Rinsler?
Indeed, as Exotic proclaims in the chat here, we have a little Sputnik monument in here with the straight up to the stars shout out. So the Fortuna team is basically kind of accommodating. The remains of this.
Yes, so the WSA, the World Space Agency, is like the, let's say ESA, NASA, all agencies came together in the world, and that created the World Space Agency. Because that whole like ideal has fallen, and all the weird stuff going on the moon, the remnants of the WSA, the people that still believe something is there on the moon, kind of prepared a new mission, and that's the Fortuna mission.
Yeah.
So that's why, and that's with all the patches always. This one, for example, is the Fortuna 1, and that, like the Apollo 11 or the Apollo 12, the mission patch.
But as you can imagine, because space travel, it's using a lot of resources, and not everybody was happy in this world. So that's why you also go on a rogue mission, because there's already so much energy wasted that you go rogue. And of course, with an idea of finding a solution, and not just bail on Earth, but find a solution for Earth as well. Definitely finding answers.
So, with that in mind, we're here at this launch site. The radio informed us at the beginning, and Claire kind of is informing us along the way. There's a nasty sandstorm coming along. Our window of time for getting up there is kind of narrow. It's getting slim.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
Even now, visibility has basically reduced.
Yes.
So there you have the MPT, the microwave power transmission receiver, and it's not receiving anything anymore.
For the past 5 years.
Yes. Like I said, this beginning of the level and the beginning of the game is really set up to hook you on as a player, to show you everything that we have in the game, get the feel of it, know how it works in kind of the movements, but then also some small puzzling. So, for example, the elevator didn't work. You need to learn that you use your environment to progress. But for example, also when you enter here, there's an energy breakdown here, so you need to use your flashlights to find stuff in your environment that helps you progress.
Yeah, and it was, this is the first game we ever made as a company. So
your
for us
debut.
it was, our debut. So we learned a ton of things throughout. So, for example, how do you introduce your player to every mechanic? And this level is completely surfing this. Of course, like this is the first room that's dark, so now you start to understand to use your flashlight. And honestly,
thankfully, there is always someone that breaches security procedures in every company. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter where you work. I mean, obviously not here, of course. Here at Wired, we are very strict and very careful with our security, as would expect. But every company I've ever worked for, there is somebody that will leave the password written out. Like it's just what it is. We all know it. We all don't like to admit it. It might even be you. If you don't know anybody, then you're this person. Okay, like that's just how it is.
Are you that person, Gary?
I might be that person. I might be that person. but thankfully, go ahead.
For a lot of people actually that got the code, they forgot about it, and I have kind of a really tiny brain as well. So
I've kind of actually already forgotten.
So that's where you got it.
3548, yeah.
That's why you get it. So awesome. When the people forget it, we always take note in the Astro tool. So when you really forget it, we help you along your way. So don't worry, you don't have to restart the whole game. We'll always help you and guide you.
I remember times when it was not recorded into the Astro.
And then you needed to
really?
get your dial-up internet and get the whole walkthrough of Tomb Raider and see like what you want to do.
3548, a reminder for later. Thank you. If you see any codes, please type them in chat. I will forget. I do have a memory of a goldfish. Hello there, boss.
So again, we try to go for a play-by-play. So when we hit with the story, we try to not mix around with the gameplay too much. And when the gameplay hits, and we want you to have focus on the gameplay, let's see some platformer and puzzling.
So you're not spending 1,000,001% of your brain trying to do a gameplay element while story beats are going over your head. You're kind of given that natural slow movement to go through and digest it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's important.
That's exactly it.
That's important.
If you go to the back, then you can also see to the right. I always like these magazines to the right,
Oh, we got another one here.
down there. I always love the fact that we have somewhat of a National Geographic in our game or something.
Yeah, I was about to say that the whole aesthetic of all of that is very National Geo, isn't it? That's kind of. And then this one obviously released after the fact. I mean, 2054 was the blackout year. We're looking 2055 at least when this issue was released. So there was at least a little period of time after. Like, it wasn't a straight up like collapse. It's not like the world has kind of ended. The MPT stopped for whatever reason, and humanity was basically left scrabbling around in the darkness after the fact, trying to kind of do with what they had. But it's like
it's like today. Like everybody expects some zombies outside right now.
I mean,
sadly, it's a lot more dull.
Is that sadly or is that
I was about to say, is that sadly?
I kind of like the Dawn of the Dead. Isn't that, well? Maybe that's why I love these games as well.
I expected being in quarantine to be different. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I see somebody asking if there are collectibles in the game. There are actually scannables in the game. So these are, for example, you are now looking at a whiteboard. You can scan that to learn a little bit more about your environment. And of course, it's also a collectible in a sense, and you can collect that whole thing or hold note of it in the Astro tool.
And the monorail, because everything needs a good monorail, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Monorail.
Yeah.
Be honest. How many times did you sing the Simpsons monorail song when you were talking about that?
The Simpsons monorail song.
Yeah, you know the monorail song.
Actually, I think it was not mentioned too much.
Okay, maybe I'm outing myself there more than anything. So we've got basically a little guide here as to how these folks, at least at the point of this whiteboard, were looking at how the MPT could be restarted and how to get somebody basically functioning.
Yeah. And for example, if you look in your environment here, there's this like an office of somebody, and you can read a little bit. You can pick up a few things to learn a little bit more about the characters that are in this game. And some people also kind of the feeling they have, maybe something they kind of hit from people that we're talking to or communicating with. But along the way, you get kind of their characters and unravel what people they are and if they were happy or maybe not so happy. And we do this with every character in the game.
Yep.
Can I? Do we want to give away the fun thing? Do we want to give away the fun thing? It's kind of my favorite thing. So we got this little globe here.
Go around the world.
We got this little globe here, and if you just kind of mash it, there we go. It's a little thing, but it makes me very, very, very happy.
You spin me right round. Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't for the fact that it was going to be breaking some kind of royalties, I was tempted to play the song.
Do you want us to? Is this safe for work, or do we want to have a really strange story about that trophy?
Okay.
Are you ready for a strange story?
How blue are we talking here? Are we talking like PG-12, or are we talking like?
I think we're PG-18 here.
Oh, okay.
But it's I can keep it between.
I'm getting ready.
I can keep it
ladies and gentlemen,
within the lines.
Keep it within the lines. Keep it within the lines. Let's hear it.
So this is an interesting one, and I think this is I have to. Oh my God! Yeah, it's the fact that I saw this reach the game. I was literally amazed that this literally reached the entire title. So what happened is that first of all, there's some random interactions in the game that were so fun to do for some reason, such as spinning the globe, or there's another one later on that we just made a choice of like which ones do we keep. There's interactions that are necessary, but are also meaningless interactions, but very fun. So spin me right round.
Is it this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like your face.
So, like we have like we started the company with a very good friend of us. It's called Johan, and Johan is Johan sometimes has just a really dirty mind,
Oh no.
or maybe not sometimes.
I'm not sure if it's something.
And the thing is, Johan, if you want to ask, if you think you can tell him something crazy about a weird way of disposing of something or whatever, he will come up with the extreme. So
Okay.
the thing is, there is a song like "Spin Me Right Round, Right Round."
Yeah.
It's the song,
Yep.
and that song Johan showed me sometime, and the picture I've seen,
There was a video or I think GIF to it that
it was like it just blew my mind. Like, dude, what are you showing me here?
yeah.
And he's
Why
like,
do you
oh,
have this on
sorry.
your phone? Like, what?
Yeah, and he said like, sorry,
a
I
lot of weird things on
I
his
wasn't meaning to send this to you, but it was like a really big strange joke. But the thing is, "Spin Me Right Round," that's the song that's playing while you're
I
seeing
know
that.
exactly what you're talking about now.
So that
He knows it.
that visual is every time when I hear that song or when I hear that phrase, I think about that now.
Okay,
That's-
you know what? You don't need to explain it because everyone collectively in the chat and the internet as a whole has just instantly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that what you if anyone recognizes this feeling, that's exactly it. So that made the game.
This is in the game. When he's
Oh my god! Hello there, Tads. You've joined us at a pivotal.
And
Spinning
maybe adding
moment.
to this, it's gonna be even crazier because you're very close right now in the game where you can see Johan.
Oh, okay. Where's
Yes.
where's Johan?
Is it
Guide
still
me
in-
to Johan.
It's still in there, man. It's
We
still
still
in
have-
there.
Oh
Guide
my
me to Johan.
I'll explore around for a moment, but when I'll tell you what to do
I think
in a
actually-
moment.
we are not in it like he is in that way.
Johan is in there, and that's another funny story about it. About Johan's picture in this game is that every time when we had no textures left, Johan's texture is used.
Yeah.
So
The whole team was always using his face for missing textures.
yeah, so if you were looking into the development, then there's sometimes when we were almost done and we were like, we opened something up, like, whoa, shit, there's Johan, and it was it kind of scared you in a way. So yeah,
Do you know where it is, by the way?
yeah, I know where it is.
I think I know where it is now that you mentioned it, and I had no idea that was his face. I mean, I knew it was a face, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So-
we put some jokes in it, so there were
As you mentioned,
frames and
So-
we had some of our people in it, or even like a stretch photo of somebody in it. And I think we eventually at the live version on PC we found one of our level designers still there, and that wasn't really an Easter egg. It was still just left in by accident.
Yeah. True.
So I think
which
we got a
happens
screenshot
more
of
often
Twitter.
than you'd think, right?
Maybe something more. You can see here a remnant of the robots and drones being used on Moon to aid you or to aid the astronauts throughout their journey.
So,
And,
this is a broken, previously used ACE unit. So for those
Yes.
that are familiar with the game, you know who ACE is, you know what ACE is, you know its role in the story. For those that aren't familiar, the ACE is basically your little robot buddy. It's your utility tool. It's something that is basically there to take you through and do all of the things that you might not be able to as a person. So you get a little bit of a brief look at these here. Before.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Oh, go back. If you can try to the right, if you, you have to kind of move yourself into these. No, to the right. I think there's a door.
Oh.
In front of you there. If you can try to stand there, and you have to kind of angle your camera to look inside, but try to angle it from the other side.
Got
There is
you.
a moment where you can see Johan's face. Yeah, you have to angle it. You can find him.
Where is Johan? Johan, hello.
I think
There
we
he
were-
is.
Yes, there it is.
Yes.
I thought we already removed it.
No,
Your
it's
hand
not
is in
removed.
there. Your hand is in there. That is. Okay, so we played Those Who Remain last week, and it was kind of genuinely terrifying. That's close.
I know.
That's one of the.
So
scariest
imagine
things.
there's moments where you can open up, for example, closets, and that whole picture was like splattered in the back, and you're
my
like, whoa,
God.
okay,
Unexpected jump scares are the best jump scares.
yeah,
I do have to say, like, people that play it, for example, at PAX, and they dive into it, they compare it a lot to Dead Space, so they think it's a horror game.
Yeah.
It's not. For the people that are tuning in, it's not a horror game. It will be
No.
a frightening experience at some points, more of a thrill.
yeah, I would say
Space.
thrilling, yeah.
But nothing like really scary. But it can be a little bit scary, as like the environment can be quite dangerous in space.
Good
Yeah.
photo. They very much captured his best side in that picture. I feel.
Definitely.
Not that Johan has a bad side by the look of it. He looks like quite an affable gentleman. But
It's the most loyal and trustworthy guy I think I know.
Yeah. Exactly. It's strange to dive into company with two brothers. So
Yeah,
very a guy with some balls.
definitely.
and the face, a hell of a
to
face.
Yeah.
refer back to the story a little bit. All right.
Exactly.
Oh no! Oh, we are all in so much trouble. We're not in trouble. I promise you, we're not in trouble. we are not in trouble.
So to come back to the game, so when you go up here, this is actually where you find your first audio log, and of course, like, you have this whole environment going. There's actually another Easter egg for another employee here.
Okay. Well, where are we? Guide me to all the Easter eggs. I am hungry.
So
Hungry
in
for
this
eggs.
one, well, first of all, this is the room where the team, Fortuna team, celebrated the fact that they are launch ready and
Yeah.
that they could send this astronaut up.
We got some little banners up here. We got someone's probably playing some like Red Cup over here. Big old
Yes.
board here with graffiti on it. Everyone's happy. This is our celebration room. A little
Yeah,
launch
so
party.
here you see that there has been a little bit of a party of beer pong.
Yes.
And
Who
to
is
some
the best in
extent,
beer pong in the Kayakin office?
so go to the wall, because there's one guy that claims he is the best. So if you take a look at this, another Easter egg here is that the top one says
Jordy.
that Jordy is the best at beer pong, but this is our business developer. He's living in US, and this guy always claims that he's the best, but he actually never proven it.
Oh, he actually
he? Did he prove it?
It was
he the best?
It was at PAX, and we ended up at a Twitch party. I think it wasn't beer pong, but it was actually table tennis.
Oh yes.
And we were talking to a guy who was working at Lionsgate, and he completely smashed him.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So he completely destroyed
Jordy's-
And is that
Jordy's
ping pong
claim
stuff.
didn't
Yes.
hold up.
So and that picture in the drawing, that's also kind of like the poor attempt of Jordy's face, right?
Yeah.
He has got one heck of a mustache. I'll give him that. That's fantastic. Utterly
Yeah.
fantastic. So, as you mentioned, it's something that we've not really spoken about as far as one of the big mechanic parts of the game, but audio kind of logs and kind of playing back of past events is kind of a big central part of the game. So a lot of games do have audio diaries and audio logs and so on and so forth. Like it's quite a standard for storytelling, especially if you're coming into an area where things have occurred. But Deliverance Moon does something kind of fun with them. But that's an evacuation notice because I clicked on the wrong thing. So we're gonna read this. It does something really fun with them. It turns them into flyers. No, but we can see that at this point, evacuation notice.
Yeah, but what you're saying about the audio logs, eventually they will become holograms as well, or there also be holograms as well.
Yeah, which is kind of the
you
fun
have
stuff that it does with them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have some.
We can listen to it.
One, the transmitter, repeat space. Claire, there you are. Come on, we're celebrating in the other room. Everyone is looking for you. I need to go this one last time, Maria. We've been over it before multiple times. We're good. Come. It's time to join the party. It won't take long. I'll be right there. A true Johansson. Once he set his mind to something, I could never convince him either. You're just as stubborn as your father. Probably the only thing we have in common. I just don't understand why he didn't restore the MPT connection. He invented the damn thing. And now it's just us. No one else is even trying. If we fail, remember what I told you. If it can be done, then we're going to do it. That's all we have to focus on. Go over your notes. Join us when you're ready. All right.
Important question in the chat here. Can spinning the globe be a gold trophy?
It's a very important question. Then also for audio logs like this, you don't have to leave your Astro tool open, so you can still listen to it while kind of closing it down.
So
we don't want to kind of hold back the player.
You can walk around and kind of get on.
And still play it.
Still
a lot of people, it can become tedious when you need to listen in that Astro tool. So you can close it down and still listen to it.
So,
talking about
as Exotic Connection is mentioning there, sorry, just to touch on the echo there for a second. You, Paul, kind of touched on this a second ago, that the audio logs kind of do take on a much wider role at a later stage in the game, where it moves from not just being an audio representation, but a visual representation as well. That kind of... It's kind of hard to explain, but we might come across one over the course of this stream, but if not, it's something that we'll maybe throw something together and show the peoples later that haven't already. But it's a lot more than just sitting and listening to the audio, which is dope. Sorry, carry on. On the subject of important trophies.
Well, we got a lot of questions like, do you have a platinum trophy? But that I was able to confirm this, that we do.
We do.
Yeah, at PAX
platinum trophy confirmed.
Yeah, so I spoke to somebody that is a platinum trophy hunter at PAX in Boston, and he was begging us to get a platinum trophy in, because some people only buy the game if there is a platinum trophy.
I have done my trophy hunting time in my youth. I rented Battle Chess on the PlayStation 3 from Blockbuster because you could get a platinum trophy in under an hour. Yes, I did that. I played the Saw video game for longer than most people probably did because it was an easy platinum trophy. Yes, we've all been there.
So King Pulsar says, what is a platinum trophy? Well, you have achievements, for example, at Xbox, and you have trophies at PlayStation. Those are achievements that pop up if you do something in there. I'm not sure. I think even Steam has them, right? It's more. I'm not sure what
the Steam achievements are direct versions of the trophies. It's just on the PlayStation and obviously Xbox with its achievements and so on and so forth. For the PlayStation, they have basically, if you collect every trophy, you get an extra trophy, which is hey, you got everything, good job, go outside, get some air, talk to people, please. You get like that kind of trophy. Which is dope. Okay, let's get on out of here, because I think Claire is steadily losing her mind. It has been the best part of an hour, and we have climbed
taking
one ladder.
Way too long here.
Claire is losing her mind. She's like, you know what? We should have sent somebody else. I knew this was going to happen. I absolutely knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we are actually going to the mission control center to prep the rockets, which is your whole thing to do in this level.
Right.
Here we go.
A little look around.
Double echo there.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a double echo on it. Is that true, Gary?
Where at?
Yeah. So you can reboot it.
Let's get this reboot on.
Calculating new storm ETA. Claire, we have a problem. The storm is approaching faster than expected. Way faster. Time's running out. Keep going, Sabrina. We've been working too long to give up now.
Alright. So there's just a little bit of an echo, but I think that's a streaming thing, right?
Yeah, it might be. It may
Okay, but that's
be.
fine. So with the voices that you hear for everybody that's watching, it's kind of echoey because of the streams. We are doing something from London, then to Amsterdam,
Yeah,
space,
to
space,
space, to everything like that. It
So,
might
a
actually,
little bit of
be
echo.
re-picking back up on the microphone. We'll have an adjustment.
Oh, that
on
might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
No,
might
but
be
it's
it.
fine.
That might
That's
be it.
fine.
But there you have the rockets, the Taurus 5, and that will be your rockets. And kind of do or die mission to the moon. Find a solution on this whole problem. But you have to be fast because the dust storm is hitting. Okay. You also need. Oh, you are checking out if there's an echo
Just
in my
checking
voice.
something. Just checking something.
Okay.
Right, so where are we? We need to get this up and running. The storm is closing in. Our window of opportunity has got much shorter.
Yeah. So it's communicating everything, saying that you need to close the valves to prep the rockets. Of course. Does it work?
No, doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. I thought I'd try anyway. You know, you never know.
Of course.
You never know.
Maybe it just went before you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Already ending on Earth there. So, and this is also what we've been showing at PAX for everybody that was at PAX. We've been showing this level most of the time, but I think the whole game was running there on the PlayStation version. So some people actually got a glimpse of what's the lies after this level as well. And yeah, people seem to really forget the corners of the screen. So they got that they were at a big gaming event, and they're just being an astronaut, which is very nice for me to see. But then sometimes I needed to stop people as well with playing.
Yeah,
which is
there were
weird.
a couple of people there that were playing a demo and having a fantastic time, but
but it's
yes.
always good. The reactions were amazing. People tend to really love kind of these experiences where they get sucked out of reality.
Well, blast.
Oh, boom!
Well, you know,
that didn't work.
It's a minor inconvenience, but an inconvenience nonetheless. Our ladder has broken.
Yeah.
Please. And
That's
unfortunately,
the end of the mission.
gravity is such that we can't just float our way up there. We're not that deep in space yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hey, look. At least there wasn't a self-destruct button. There is that.
Yeah.
What's that? And like I said, so this level is really not too hard of a challenge just yet, and along the way it's gonna be harder and harder, and you need to combine all the skills that you'll learn. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you got it on there.
There we go.
There you have it. So yeah, so the puzzling will get harder, but
Yeah.
just
It's a
to
quite
fuel
light
display.
introduction.
Yeah.
Quite a light little take-in.
And as you can imagine, not everything goes right on a mission like this, especially in the hard environment of space and on the moon.
Yeah, I think most people that I speak to, they also say like it's very much a cinematic experience, almost like playing a movie a little bit.
Yeah. But not so much that it's only cinematics playing, so everything is playable. Just very short cinematics that show some stuff in between.
We are so smart. We are the best.
Yes.
Ain't no one
Well
stopping
done,
us.
Gary.
We're going to space.
Now you can prep the rocket.
Now let's go to space.
King Pulsar is asking, would you say this is a puzzle game with a story or a story game with a lot of puzzles?
It's a narrative adventure, so a story game that has some light puzzling in between.
I've just realized what the echo
Platforming
is.
as well.
Oh yeah?
No, I'm wrong. I realized we had the stream open in the background. I thought it might be playing the audio through
The
there
echo,
too.
the echo is not in our voices. It's actually in the game voice.
Got you. I wonder if it's capturing through the speakers and the Elgato as well. That's probably what that is. That'll be what that is. Okay. Well, we'll dabble with that at a later point, as long as it's not too distracting. Is the game moddable? I want to become Buzz Lightyear. Does the PC version have mod support?
Sorry?
Does the PC version have mod support? Will the folks be able to turn our WSA Astronaut into Buzz Lightyear?
I have heard this question a couple of times, but currently it's not.
Something to consider, maybe. If
Yeah.
everyone wants to be Buzz Lightyear. But we all know
In the
that all
literature,
they'll
yeah.
do is turn the rocket into Thomas the Tank Engine. That's all
Yeah.
rockets do, is turn everything into Thomas the Tank Engine. It's we know that's what you'll do.
Thomas the Tank.
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And we need to make our way.
Let's just put it
rocket.
out, let's just put it out here now. I'm gonna put a thing on this. I've got a Steam key of the game for the person that photoshops the best Thomas the Tank Engine rocket.
On the rocket.
On the rockets. It doesn't matter what it is.
But it needs to look
it
realistic.
Needs to look, it needs to look good. Or if it's not gonna be good, it's got to look like real goofy fun.
Proper genuine.
Yeah, like it's either gonna look fantastically realistic or make me laugh the most. And we'll let these two gentlemen here decide. Well, we'll throw a stream key out for anyone after the stream over the weekend that puts together the best Thomas the Tank Engine based rocket, and we'll throw a key out for. I like that. Sorry, I've decided. The boss can't be mad at me because we're gonna have fun.
It's good. Actually, we have a beautiful screenshot of this rocket sequence. So if we can have that over that picture, that would be awesome. Oh, not a special.
Special.
All right.
So
1 minute before the.
1 minute, it's fine. We've done our cardio today. We've got good energy for
Yeah.
days. But we should probably get a move on.
Oh yeah.
When you're ready, kind of let's getting a little anxious. I'm just gonna put out the soundtrack in this game is phenomenal. I know we're kind of talking a lot over it right now.
Yeah.
So the soundtrack is made by Sander van Zanten, our lovely composer and sound designer. He did all the sounds and the music.
Yeah.
Which the soundtrack actually consisted, including the trailer music, of a 70-track album, which is insane for a game that we do. But, yeah, we are incredibly proud of it. It also functions as a kind of a feeling, what we want to portray within the game, that feel of isolation and loneliness.
Yeah, the soundtrack is one of my favorite. I mean, the game itself is great, but the soundtrack is just next level. Well, like it is. Oh damn! All right, we've got a timer. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I've lost them. Come back! I need the. Oh no.
Oh.
No. Did we miss our window?
No, I don't know. I think you did.
Did we miss our window?
yes.
You were
did.
busy with the Astro tool, so.
I was busy with the Astro tool. I forgot that the timer kept going once you reached the rocket. Okay.
So there's like a timer on this, so everything turns, and we foreshadowed already in this level is kind of the cockpit sequence.
Where-
You don't need the Astro tool at this point.
Okay. So it should just do
so
it
it's
for me,
already-
right?
It's flipping buttons, flipping switches.
I'm really good at flipping switches. I don't know whether you've noticed. I'm the best.
Yeah. Look at that.
Come on.
Ooh.
Oosh. Oop.
Nice one.
Nope. Come here, you. Oh.
No, wrong.
Wrong? Oh, wait. A1, B3, B4. Okay. So A1, A3. Read the manual, Gary. Read the manual.
Look at this.
Here we go. I am a professional astronaut.
Oh yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, that was on the spot there.
It's getting a little bit tougher along the levers.
Oof.
A
Nice.
lot of people have difficulties with that one.
Oof. Oh, good. We need HBO, otherwise we'll get bored in space.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly
That's exactly what that is.
hydrogen burn-off.
There you go. Always the big lever does the trick, right?
Let's go to space!
Let's go.
So there you go. Bye bye Earth. So yeah.
Love it.
Oh yes.
Luckily,
It's kind of-
evading the sandstorm. Darude will be disappointed. But he'll have,
Yeah.
but he'll have to deal with it.
But you know that one of the YouTubers, the biggest YouTuber of Germany, Gronk,
Gronk, yeah.
that song, Darude, Sandstorm, stuff. His fan base is extremely fan of playing this. He also, I put like that song on, I remember.
I think that because we wanted to have a reaction and we didn't do Twitch yet, we started a Twitch channel very, very fast to react to all these people that were kind of supporting the very, very early prototype of Deliver Us the Moon. And I think we broke every law on Twitch, every regulations they had, like we play
Every
music.
terms of service broken.
And
Paul was naked.
everybody was naked, drinks involved. That was our start with Twitch.
Yeah.
It sounds like a regular Wired Tuesday show.
Yeah.
So we take one last glance at Earth. As you can imagine, it doesn't look as healthy as it was used
it's
to.
it's a resource-starved Earth. It's an Earth that hasn't been.
Yeah. But then as well, for example, this is everything we know. So every world leader, every person that we loved, everything in history, the pyramids, everything that we know happened on that pearl blue dot. That's everything that we know of. Like everything outside is completely unknown to us, and the next frontier is definitely something out there. But while not forgetting about our home.
What accessibility options are there? Subtitles, increase size on consoles. Do you have variable font options?
Subtitles we have.
So let's have a look. Just double check is a good question. Audio. Oh, I never know where to put them. So it looks like they're just set on one size for now. Maybe something to consider. But we'll make a note. We'll make notes.
Yeah. That's looking awesome.
So you're losing transmission, Claire. There.
Yeah.
So it's time to finish off the sequence.
Cut off main engine. Ignite second stage thruster. Beautiful. And we get... I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing, but we get a nice Fly Me to the
Ooh.
Moon trophy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
So there you're leaving
Yeah.
On our way.
your mission. And of course, it is.
Does any country or individual own the moon? And a late title card. I'm a big fan of late title cards. I'm just putting it out there. If you want me to love your game or film or comic or whatever, that doesn't really work in a comic, I guess. But just put a late put a late title card in the game, and I will just fall over it. I adore it. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Deliver Us Moon, of course, stands for Deliver Us a Solution, Deliver Us Hope.
Yeah,
Deliver us the next
they
step.
don't want us to literally like bag up the moon and stick a big net round it and pull it back into the Earth. You know, that probably wouldn't work out all too well. But it's.
I have had a lot of questions though that people were asking, how would you deliver them to somebody? So it couldn't be the first.
You have the moon.
You actually have a moon. That's cheating.
Yeah.
This game would be a lot easier if I had that. I'm just saying. Just throw it at Claire. Here's your moon. Stop going on about it. So.
Whitewash is asking, are most trophies story based? There are some Easter eggs. It's not only story based.
No.
No, there
Um,
is, and the first section of the game is kind of railroaded in that way, right? It's very much a guided. You've got that one objective. It's get to space. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Number one with a bullet. Get in that rocket. Get up there. Once you kind
Yeah.
of get there, and a few environments you go around, you know, and the moon itself, and so on and so forth, it is kind of give you some kind of freedom. You do get a little
Yeah.
bit of room to push up against the edges and explore and kind of investigate some notable things, such as, I don't know, original moon landing sites or variations thereof. And
Yeah.
so I'm not being too specific on that because it is one of my favorite Easter eggs.
Oh yeah.
But there are some pretty cool things to go around and explore and play with. So the folks very much did make a playground for you as well as an actual story to go knee deep into.
So you're actually now kind of in a new sequence. I'm not sure how long you still want to continue.
Yeah,
But the nice thing is, as an astronaut, when I hear myself double here.
Sorry.
For a second, no worries. It's just confusing my brain a little bit.
I always like to turn on the sound for this because it's such an eerie feel. You
Yeah.
know?
Also, the soundtrack here is a little bit different with the arpeggio going on. For people that know that, almost like a Stranger Thing feel there. But yeah, then again, a sequence like this was designed because, yeah, if you're an astronaut, you need to dock your ship as well, kind of like Interstellar.
Yeah.
Also,
And it's
movies like 2001: Space
it's
Odyssey.
actually quite challenging. Like there are some variations of this particular mechanic throughout the game, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's a good representation of, you know, when you're watching these kind of space disaster films or whatever, where they're kind of slowly having to make micro adjustments that are not instantaneous. You're kind of trying to predict the drift and the movement of everything and react to it in a timely manner. It isn't frustrating, but it is definitely challenging. I'm really hoping I don't destroy this. It's gonna
Be a very early mission that
Yeah, we got to space, but then no further.
was it.
Are there any giant space octopuses? And follow-up question.
Maybe.
Follow-up question. What is the plural of octopus? Is it octopi?
Yeah.
Octopi sounds pretty
Octopi?
good.
Octopi?
Octopi.
A little tap, and then, yeah, honestly, that's my experience playing Elite, to be honest. I dabbled in Elite Dangerous for a little bit, and during the training, I blew up my ship about 17 times trying to land.
Octopuses
both correct.
and octopi are both.
Anti-octopuses.
Thank you, exotic collector.
So, like I said in the beginning as well, it's a hybrid game, so it will shift from third person to first person, and it was mainly done because first person was, or the zero gravity was better portrayed in first person to get that real feel of vertigo, that real feel of floating, was just better portrayed in first person. That's why we went for the hybrids.
Yeah, you can imagine positioning and kind of movement and everything like that in a third person perspective would be pretty complicated navigating these kind of environments and moving on through. And you get a good amount of freedom, you know, it's you get to kind of live your best zero gravity lifestyle and kind of throw yourself around and do a barrel roll, as the kids say.
You know what when we were looking at astronauts in the ISS, they explained also that it's sometimes when you just turn around and you look from the way like the other way around, your whole environment can look different. So that whole effect, because we have it in the game, is also if you turn around or you can become lost
very easily.
And that's something. We're so focused on like mounted on the ground and having that gravity that in the ISS for real that's an issue, but also in our game now, since we can do this. So when we were designing this, that is, you have to kind of
that would be
take
dope.
into account that what players will do, they should try to find their way, or they shouldn't be too distracted or confused in a sense that they can't find their way anymore. But that was tough, I can tell you.
So
especially
here
I've
we get
been-
introduced to another element of the game, which is in certain areas, this station is in disarray. We are moving into an environment where we are not entirely sure what has occurred, but what should be here is not here. And as such, some of it's fallen into disrepair, some of it might not even be compressed or set properly, and you'll basically have to keep on top of your oxygen. Sometimes it'll just be traveling from one area to another, and you'll kind of pick up a little tank with you for the trip. Sometimes it'll be in the middle of doing a puzzle or an objective. It's quite a tense little mechanic. I'm just putting it out there. Not too dissimilar.
At this point, there's oxygen depleting in this area, so it's 2 minutes. But I think we are in front of it.
In front of it. Let me move you out the way.
Oh. Hey,
get down off the ceiling. What have I told you?
Here.
What have I told you about being up there? We do have this little timer down. We've lost them. They floated off. We do have a little timer down here.
We are also in zero gravity right now.
You're just kind of floating around. Go do your best zero gravity impression.
So,
Oh wait. Oh.
just you now. I floated away.
Oh, you switched sides. How did that happen? That's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it's strange.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you
Oh, that's great. This is
perfect.
amazing.
I think we should leave it
We
this way.
leave it like this.
You like it up there? You like being up
Yeah.
there? You've left your thing vacant though. That's the problem.
I think this is great. Yeah, this is great.
Oh wait, I see. Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Now we guys, you've got a little problem
Whoa.
back in the
the cockpit.
The cockpit
guys,
is on
your
fire
cockpit
there.
is on fire. Oh, we're also suffocating. Oh god, this is all gone horribly
There's a
wrong.
lot of things happening in this
Yeah.
screen right now.
The cockpit is on fire. The guys are stuck up on the ceiling. That's
Yeah,
This is amazing.
yeah. This is exactly what we expected. Let's be honest.
my.
Yeah.
Should have probably paused it when I was messing with you.
Now it's good.
Honestly,
Yeah, you're lost, right? That's what I
yeah,
told
I
you.
am now completely and utterly bamboozled this way. Here we go.
Yeah, you're right.
I could have
There we
sworn
go.
it was on the right. It was on the right side, but he's turned all the way up.
Oh,
So, ooh.
just in time. Just in time. I'm gonna give
I
you
love your
guys.
reaction
I'm gonna
there.
give you guys your cockpit back.
Our cockpit back.
Your. Hold on. Let me just rotate
Perfect.
it for you. Let me just rotate it for
Honestly,
you. There we go. Awesome.
Oh,
Nice. Feels much better.
It's much
I
better.
feel like
you look good up there. Honestly, I'm just worried.
I feel like
about...
Goku going in Super Saiyan mode almost here.
What the
Wow.
heck? I must admit, I am a little worried about all the blood rushing to your head. But it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
We'll figure
getting
it out.
quite tough here.
Who left the oven
Well,
on? In space, no one can
that's-
hear you bake.
It's interesting that some people like when you're in space, like there's no gravity pulling your face, so that's why all the astronauts always look like that they're just out of bed.
Yeah. It's,
Come
that's how
on.
it goes.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh my god.
We're just having a nap, okay? Part of being an effective astronaut is taking regular breaks and stretching it out and kind of resting, and it's important to do so.
Yeah. Can we also like float from the right side?
Well, you want to be on the right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna,
You,
that's
you want to
even
be.
weirder.
God, you are really testing me. Hold on, let me just pause the game so that we're not. We're not. Okay, let's rotate it that way. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll drag you and we'll throw you in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, is this
Yes.
the good stuff? Is this what you want?
Ooh.
You want to get some
This
Lionel
is-
Richie
Ah.
Richie dancing on the ceiling, kind of? Yeah, okay. I like you there. I like you there. It's good. It's good as shimmy. It's good as shimmy.
Perfect. It's like synchronizing the dance there a little bit.
It's a nice one.
No, but so you will get it. This is a puzzle. It's like I said, we amp it up a little bit more, so there'll be more problems into play, like oxygen, but also power cells, but also puzzling. So yeah, it's a little puzzle at this point.
Yeah.
And you failed last time.
Yeah.
I didn't fail. I just took the. Okay, I failed. I can't. Right, we're gonna leave that oxygen there for now. I'm gonna need that later. I can't remember exactly how much it gives you.
There's also a lot of oxygen in the back
Yeah,
there.
there really is. I wouldn't have completely. We really needed oxygen, but I think I was spun, right? So like I came this way to grab the power cell. Instead of going where all the oxygen is, which would have been way more useful for me at that moment in time. But again, it's that disorientation, right? You lose your perspective, you lose your view, your visibility.
Also, looking to the right, it's always so beautiful to look outside here. That gives me the entire ISS feeling. I know you're under stress because there's 2 minutes, but
No, don't worry about it. Well, we can stop and take in the view. It's okay. We don't need to.
yeah, it always gives me like, you know, that the light and the hard shadows always in space. It floating next to windows can also give you like this whoa, you know, that feeling that there's no, like almost like walking on like a glass floor in a big tower. You
Yeah,
know?
which I try to avoid wherever possible.
Yeah.
Those really fancy bars and restaurants, you know, with the with the here's a glass floor, go and dine as if you're on top of the world. No,
Yeah.
that's really scary. How about no? Put me on the ground. I'll eat my spaghetti in peace.
So how are you gonna get that other power cell? Where is that?
That's a very good question. We are missing one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I ought to do a little flip. Is it in one of the cupboards? Oh, that's not helping us. Out of the way. You are very generous with the. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Gravity, behave. Sir. Right, there we go.
Look at that.
Ace
Funny to see you
parts.
play, Gary.
Yeah.
Ace parts. This side up.
Yeah.
Is there really a... Excuse me. Is there even a side in space?
No,
No.
So-
there isn't.
You know, I've been in rotating car. It's kind of a simulation on to see if what happens when you are in a flipped car. So let's say you're in an accident and the car flips and you're upside down. It's a completely weird experience because I didn't know where you are. So you have that complete vertigo going on. So that's kind of what you have in space constantly. So your environment changes because everything is 360 there.
Yeah.
Is that also an Easter egg of our 3D?
Yes,
guy?
yeah.
It's on there.
There's something on there, but you still have time going, so that's
Yeah, still have time going. So you need two power cells.
I can-
Where's you guide us, Obi-Wan? You are our
Well,
only
I
hope.
can guide you. You already have to.
You already have to, but where you notice the first one?
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Ha.
Oh. No.
Oh no. Okay, so now we have to do a little bit of a trade because we do have another socket here for a power cell. So we are going to be juggling.
The old
not-
switcheroo.
Not literally juggling because I don't have that hand-eye coordination. You may have noticed. you may have noticed.
Actually, can you juggle?
I've never tried.
A little bit.
I've
Yeah.
never tried.
I actually can, but not very good. But I
No,
can.
Paul is very good in spinning a cushion on his finger.
Yeah.
Do you have any cushions there? I kind of want to see this.
Do we have like a book or something? Needs to be a little bit thicker.
No, it needs to be.
I'm not doing it with this one.
That's the greatest. We can do that. What about the box?
What box?
The
Big. That's what she
You
says.
know, I forgot that you guys were sideways. I just looked at the stream. I was like, wait, what? What? Oh yeah, I forgot.
We'll find something.
So-
that box.
Oh,
there.
oh no, you're still under pressure, man.
It's okay, but it's cool. We did the thing.
Maybe that box.
Oh, this box.
Maybe that
Oh.
works. Maybe it works.
Let's get a
Oh.
reboot.
That's a spacecraft.
Let's see if I'm not
See if
slapping you
that-
in the face.
Okay.
If this is working. Oh, yeah.
It will work better.
Yeah, but
Oh my
you can
god,
do-
that's actually kind of impressive.
But that was you can do it so fast with certain things that you're like whoa, and I think
It's weird, yeah.
it's like a basketball also work.
The funny thing is, I can do with a
That's
basketball.
yeah.
But
that's
I
the
can
weird-
do it with books and plates and vinyls.
Let me do it with my phone.
No,
Wait,
this is how you
that-
end up with a broken.
Use a very useful skill.
You ever just need to spin your phone on your finger for reasons?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, my
Sometimes
Lord.
sometimes that's necessary.
So we've got
So,
our oxygen back online. Mission complete as far as
Is
that
it-
goes.
yeah, did it-
Our
did it work?
life support
Oh.
is back online, but we
I
still
saw
don't
the
have a lot of
relieving
power.
message. Everything is
Everything's
oxygen
Gucci.
levels are rising.
Everything is fine. Do you think
Everything
they,
is Gucci.
Do you think they still say Gucci in 2055?
Gucci.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they might.
Yeah.
We will
I
bring
feel
it
like
back.
it never really goes out of
Bring the
fashion.
sexy back.
We're bringing Gucci back in space. Maybe we need to go like actual full-on Gucci spacesuit, like a Gucci design spacesuit.
Yeah.
You know, just in case. And here we enter. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna keep my bearings here. I promise.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, this actually does feel real nice on a controller, purely because I mean, on PC it's fine. Like you know, you do the job, but having the triggers related to the spinning, it's like controlling a vehicle almost. You know, like I do the same whenever I'm playing any kind of, you know, Battlefield or Call of Duty or anything like that. Like I'll mouse and keyboard, but the second I enter a vehicle, I'm picking up the controller that's plugged in, and I'm doing that because I'm very bad.
You can we can even say something about it. Like when we were looking for this,
ahead.
it's kind of like a 6 axis controlling, as if you were controlling a spaceship or a ship that's in front of you. So that's why it I think feels a little bit familiar or playable in that sense. Oh, we're moving.
What's happening here?
It's okay. But Paul was dragging you out into space. I just had to reset you. It's all good.
Nice.
So multiple axis as far as the
Yeah.
I guess it's almost a complete other dimension.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when if we replay this, I see different things. You know, if you play it from like another angle, then you're like, whoa.
When we did some QAing ourselves as well, we have played a lot, and just for your own sense, you just try to play the game on a different angle. Especially in this area, you can play it upside down, but then also from left to right and right to left. So you can change your whole experience.
Yeah.
Even just being in a different like angle makes it feel like a completely different place, which is kind of bananas. But I guess that's kind of how space works, right?
Yeah.
But it was also quite hard to design because, of course, you need to have some sort of direction where you need to go. So it was quite of a hassle to design it in a way that you will find your way anyway.
Honestly, I really appreciate the fact that you've got the space. The space navigation signs upside down and the right way up at the top and bottom of everything. It's a small thing. I don't know if it's a realistic thing. Like I don't know if that's a thing that actually occurs in real craft and so on and so forth. But it is very much appreciated.
Yeah, it's something to think about, especially when guiding the player here and there. It was like, how do we do this, and how do they actually do it in the ISS?
Yeah.
So
Lord King Pulsar, yep. Thank you so much for hanging out, King. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I hope you've enjoyed your time. Please enjoy the rest of your day, whatever that
Stay safe,
consists of.
King.
Thanks for being here.
Yep, we're good. Yep, nailed it. Like a glove.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
Yeah, I know where that's from.
Like a glove.
I love that guy.
I need the space bathroom. Why can't we go to the space bathroom? I need the space bathroom. I actually do need the bathroom. I drink so much water.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, me too. I always drink a little water. Oh yeah.
at this.
This I love this room.
Yeah. Also a
Another moon
little
man.
homage.
Yes.
Homage to our granddad. He actually was a telescope builder
Yeah.
himself, so it was great to have a kit-bashed telescope in there
Yeah.
to have one more glance at Earth.
Yeah, and there's even in this area or in this room, there's the a little homage to the Hubble telescope,
Yeah,
the Hubble
yeah.
Space Telescope, the biggest telescope you can have or we have right now that's looking into deep space. Although the James Webb telescope that's coming up in I think next year, or not sure if they're even launching this year, but that I'm not sure. Gary, have you seen the James Webb telescope?
I haven't, not personally.
Jesus, that
Is
thing
it-
is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
when
have
that if we are gonna launch that into space and make sure that it captures light with those mirrors, guys, we're gonna see aliens. I am sure.
Yeah.
And we get to have a little reverse look back at the Earth through this
Oh yeah.
little telescope, and even there from this perspective, like, you know, the game very much posits the fact that So
Yes.
what's the story behind the teddy bear?
So Moonbear, that's what he's called, is I think the stuffed animal of the youngest daughter, Isaac Johansson, one of the characters in the story. And there's some drawings up in the game where she drew her father, her sister,
Early on in the game,
and her father,
before you
and
go up, you
also,
can kind of see them on the inside of the trailer and
Yeah.
so on and so forth, right?
yeah,
There was a point where it was Johan's face again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be terrifying. Just superimpose
Yeah.
Johan's head floating along. That would be... I kind of wish you'd sent me a picture of Johan's face right now so I could just kind of drag it up and make it float around. But before we were rudely interrupted by the adorable astronaut there, the idea of Earth itself being a lot more stripped down in what it is. Like if you look at a lot of satellite imagery and kind of pictures from space, you kind of see Earth very much lit up, almost like a Christmas tree, right? There's an awful lot of lighting. You can kind of see the big groups of, you know everything. And even from this perspective here, I mean, the things are pretty sparse through this telescope.
Yeah.
Definitely is not the Earth that we know and that we are familiar with.
Yeah, and it's
Especially
still
when you
our
compare
home.
it to that, you know, our beautiful
Yeah.
blue pearl.
yes,
Kind of a
Yeah,
very
that's
nice little
crazy.
comparison.
Yeah,
between
exactly.
the state
It's
of it, right? Like you
especially-
look at one, you look at the other, and it's like, ish.
yeah. It actually has that effect. So, I really love the designers on this game. Nice. Yeah, and here's the little space telescope, or the Hubble to the left.
Oh, where? Where's our Hubble?
You can
Oh,
see.
here we go.
Yes, that's
Get a
the
little Hubble baby.
tiny Hubble. Yeah, Hubble baby.
Hubble baby. Oh no. Okay. Can we take the Hubble
Yeah.
with us?
That would be great.
No, you know, like those
Oh, it
old
does.
Half-Life achievements where it was like, oh, pick up the garden gnome and take it to the end of the game with you, kind of thing. But like,
Well,
I think I actually did that.
there
I
might
bet you
actually
did. I
be
bet you
something
did.
like that.
Oh, is there now? Okay.
Yeah. It's also a
Interesting.
little bit to hint it to a little bit small hint here. I think
Okay.
is that it has has a little bit of a portal reference. Yeah.
A straight up portal reference. Okay. I mean, you can't go
Yes.
wrong with a portal reference.
Yeah. That is, I think, one of the hardest achievements there.
This one is also nice. The
Oh
guitar.
yeah. Yeah, the guitar is great.
You can play a song on it.
Yeah, you can play a complete song.
In space, no one can hear you strum, except us. That's awesome. I love stuff like that. and I've got myself lost by spinning again. Help! There we go.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I get excited. Just want to have a little spin as a treat.
But then also there are, for example, emails as well. So pretty deep into the story. But it all depends on you as a player. So for the people that kind of like to skip these things, you can. And like I said before, we encourage people to dive into the whole story. There went a lot of effort and love into everything that we've written down.
You can kind of track the progression of everyone that was on the lunar colony and in the actual station itself via this breadcrumb trail of their remaining.
Yeah. So Whitewash is asking, will there be a physical game release? Yes, there will be a physical game release for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch.
Confirmed.
The Humble would be an awesome collectible. We are actually doing a collector's edition as well, but about that.
I think are details sealed on the collectors yet, or is it still?
Yeah, no details yet.
No details yet. Okay.
But there will be.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're not breaking any embargoes here. Lord knows we'd like to. I think you two can sympathise with me that not talking about things is probably the hardest part of this job, because you kind of want to talk about everything, but you're very limited as to what you can. But no, there is physical release confirmed on all. Ace Loban. What's with the little Ace sticker? I love the little Ace sticker.
Ace Loban is Loban, kind of like love in Germany. They always said Ace Loban or Keoken Loban, and that's like a hint to the German community we have. All thanks to Gronk, the big YouTuber.
Yeah, of course. He was very, very influential early on. With,
he picked us up very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're closing into our. Where's this?
Oh! I thought somebody was coming in our cockpit
you thought you were
here.
about to get invaded.
Yeah.
Strange.
No,
okay,
we have.
I wouldn't. So they were entering this burning cockpit, which is pretty weird. There's somebody entering now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably didn't want to walk in on that, but I will say I do believe that this is kind of roughly about the time that you two fine gentlemen are needing to depart from us. Zobi, no! The auto mod took Zobi out. Zobi, I'm so sorry.
Oh wow!
It's okay. It happens. We need to teach the auto mod a couple of things and get it to stay on its level, because it's got quite trigger happy lately with taking people out. But
trigger happy,
very trigger happy. But no, once again, the fantastic demons are going to have to depart. Before they burn up in the atmosphere. That cockpit is not looking in the best of situations. You should probably get on out of here. But thank you very much for sharing your time and your stories and kind of insights into the game. And it's honestly my favorite thing is this type of content. Like, playing the games is one thing, having the people that literally put it together is quite another. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Gary.
Can we get a big round of applause in the chat and some appreciation for these two fine astronaut spacefaring folks? And 24th of April is when Xbox and Ps4 users are going to be able to get their hands on this. Switch is a little bit later, just because, Switch is a very different beast, and we could just throw it on and go, we'll click the port button and make it happen, but that would be a bad that would be a bad experience for all, they want to make sure that it's a good experience for that particular platform, so it'll be a little bit later, but it will be there. You'll be able to deliver the moon, no matter where you are, whether you're on a treadmill, which is also a really cool part in this game. Whether you're on a treadmill, whether you're doing the groceries, maybe you're sat at home in bed, you can deliver the moon no matter where you go. So 24th of April for console release, you'll be able to get their hands on that. It is currently out on Steam, so if you like the look of it, go get it on your wish list. If you haven't already picked it up, maybe go pick it up. Just saying, or go and send me a very good Photoshop or drawing of Thomas the Tank Engine as a spacecraft, and I will get a key into your hands. I do promise. I'm not even joking. I will make that happen. Please, give me your rockets, your Thomas the Tank Engine rockets. Paul, Kian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Who's the publisher? We do the publishing. I
thank you, Gary, for this whole thing, setting this up and doing this. You are a great host, so thank you for that.
Don't be daft.
Round of applause for you as well.
I'm just the color man. You guys are the talent here. Okay, I'm just a hype man. I'm the dude in the background going woo, yo, go Demon. You know, that's just me. But it's cool because I can say that and it applies to both of you. But no, Wired Productions is the publisher in this particular instance. Whitewash and the fantastic Cake and Interactive are the folks that put it all together. So
we have an amazing team. Big shout out to the team.
Yeah, biggest of love. But we are going to wrap this entire thing up. We will throw out over on our socials where you can pre-order the game and where you can also knock over a lamp. Oh my god! Where you can pre-order the game and where you can get a hold of it on Steam for those that have enjoyed the show today. We will be live next week with some more streams. I believe Tuesday we have another community stream. On Thursday we are going to be pulling on the fantastic Mr. Camel folks of Those Who Remain fame for a straight up horror discussion. And hey, maybe you folks find 5 minutes. You could bring yourselves on. We're not even showing games on Thursday. We are literally just sat talking about horror and influences and games and films that we enjoy and kind of just talking horror because that's something I want to do.
Sounds awesome.
It's my party and I will do that if I want to. God damn it. Anyway, once again, thank you so much everyone for joining us. This has been a fantastic show. Big love to the wonderful Kayakin team and the Deepman brothers for joining us. Zobi, Whitewash, King Pulsar, Kiko, Miss K, and everyone that rocked through the chat today. We hope you have enjoyed yourselves. This has been Wired Productions. That was Deliver Us the Moon. I nearly said Those Who Remain. That was Deliver Us the Moon. This was the fantastic Cohen and Paul Deepman. And we will catch you next week for more Wired antics. Please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.